Hello again. You're watching today on eNCA DSTV Channel 43 with me, Dan Moyane. Thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon. Now, there's a new addition to the International Cybersecurity and Investigation Committee, and it's none other than South African Andy Mashaile, former Interpol ambassador. He joins this committee as a special operations strategist and cybersecurity advisor. Well, let's find out more about his role and responsibilities as he continues to fly the South African flag high. Andy Mashaile, congratulations and thank you for joining us in the studio.
It's a blessing and a pleasure to be on your show again, Brother Dan.
Were you expecting it sometime in your career, fighting crime, that one day you'll be sitting on this committee?
Brother Dan, it came as a shock. It came as a shock because I learned, amongst other things, that it is by invitation only. So what shocked me is who was seeing me, who was watching me, and who was watching my performance. And how come I be invited, Brother, and not any other person? For honesty's sake, I was shocked.
Yeah, there's a lot to be grateful for, I guess, in life. So now tell us about this committee. Just bring our viewers who may not know about the International Cybersecurity and Investigation Committee. Just very brief at a high level.
It is a committee that comprises of ex-law enforcers, researchers, scientists, computer scientists, computing scientists, AML, it has attorneys, it has all the specialists that you need to give support to law enforcement agencies, to investigate for your cooperations as well as for individuals.
So what is going to be your role?
My role, Brother, amongst other things, is to do what I'm going to do now, is to tell you that the Kaji brothers that South Africa has been looking for, I know where they are. I know they operate from Switzerland. You remember the guys who were hacked, the guys from KZN. We also can tell you, Brother, from the committee's Special Operations Center. We know how what's been going on. We know what's in their e-wallets. We know all that type of stuff. Number two, Brother, after this interview, you must go to your app store and Google Sophos Intercept X. Sophos Intercept X is an application that will tell you if your device is protected or your device has been penetrated or your device has been taken over.
And this is under this committee?
Yes. Braden, if you look for my email address, it's ndymashaile@proton.me. So you are going into a space of privacy. You want to be private because you want to safety and security when you surf the internet. When you send me an email, I want it encrypted so that the man in the middle, your business email compromise, should not read my emails.
Now let's go back to this other statement you made now about you know where the Kaji brothers are. You said they are in Switzerland. How important is that in the investigation that you've been collaborating for and doing?
But then we have already touched sides with the big bets, the hawks. Wanting to know if they're still looking for the guys. We were reliably informed that they paid back the money that they stole from some of the people who were scammed by this gentleman. And we were led to believe, factually so, it is on a document, it is on a communication between me and the big bet. The NPA, because they paid back the money to those who were complaining, the NPA dropped the charges.
The NPA dropped the charges?
Yes, because they had paid back the money.
Okay, so, I mean, it looks like this committee does a lot of investigative work, as you've said. It's got former law enforcement specialists, it's got attorneys, it's got cyber security specialists and stuff. What is the significance of you as a South African having been invited to this committee for the country?
Let me do a back to front. 2021, the cost of cyber crime to the world, $6 trillion US. 2025, the cost of cyber crime to the world will be 10.5 trillion US. And what is the role of South Africa in the two extreme amounts that I've just brought up? South Africa loses 2.2 billion annually to cyber criminals.
Dollars or rands?
Rands, 2.2 billion rands. That's our contribution to the bigger number that's coming in 2025. In the 10.5 trillion USD, we will be contributing just around, in the next number of years, just around 3 billion rands or 4 billion rands.
So if you are a member of this committee, then you're going to assist and everybody else who's working with you you'd be assisting in fighting cybercrime that affects South Africa locally and globally.
Yes, sir, you provide high-tech solutions. The things that I spoke about, the applications that I spoke about, the encrypted emails, email addresses, and software speak to the issue of reducing the number of victims who might fall victim to cyber criminals as a result of emails that get tracked. But then when you send an email, it has trackers. You are being tracked in all over the space. When you send out an email, it gets tracked. So long story short, you want to ensure that when you send an email or receive, it's not tracked. You remove the trackers from your emails.
Okay, what is that app again you mentioned?
Sophos Intercept X. Sophos Intercept X.
Now, you were an Interpol ambassador for quite some time here for South Africa in terms of crime investigation, and Interpol plays a very big role, as we know. Now you are moving into this committee, plus you're still doing your other work in the cybersecurity space. How bad is South Africa today affected by cybercrime? How widespread is cybercrime in our country today?
It's very bad. It's big and it's on the increase. It's big and it's bad and it's on the increase because South Africa, when it comes to cybersecurity, on the cybersecurity index, in Africa, we are number 8 when it comes to cybersecurity. Worldwide, we are number 3 in terms of the victims of cybercrime. In 2017, 2015, 2016, 2017, the tricycles, 53% of the victims of cybercrime in South Africa were women. And how much did they lose? 739 million. To what? Purchasing goods online and many of those things without the proper knowledge, without the understanding. So amongst other things, this committee deals with creating an impact effectively and efficiently in cybersecurity awareness. We are actually wanting South Africa to be cyber smart, on my part, as my role as a South African.
The online shopping for women or generally, is it the biggest weakness? Is that where most of the cyber crimes in South Africa were committed, or are there other forms of cybercrime?
There are other forms of cybercrime, Braden. In this particular case, I'm talking about your usual method of operation of criminals. Phishing, sending you an email that says, this Dan Moyane is inviting you to a party. You need to send in some 500 rands for the drinks and that kind of stuff. And when you talk to Braden, Braden has no clue. You're phishing. Your business email compromise. Do not pay Andy Mashaile. We have just changed our banking details. Pay it into this account. When you talk to Andy Mashaile, the money did not come into the account, but it went to, into the man in the middle's account called, it's now called business communications compromise. It was initially called man in the middle, business email compromise, and BCC now.
You know, the phishing and all these scams. Just the other day, I received an email from an address which seemed to be an address of somebody I know, but I looked at that, it just didn't make sense. But what got the red lights going in me was the fact that it asked me to please reply and give them my WhatsApp number. And I said, but who's this? The name I know, but the person wouldn't be able to do it because they already have my WhatsApp number. Yes. So I just deleted the email. So how important is awareness? And does this committee assist with that for many people like myself and ordinary South Africans to say cybercrime is growing, is becoming a very serious crime locally and globally?
It is very important that our people must understand when surfing the net, where do you go? How do you go? Why do you go there? At what time? At what motivation, Braden? Some people get overzealous and we talk about the dark web where now I can show you, Braden, on the screen, where cyber attacks are happening now as we speak. It's called the live threat map. It's also Kaspersky Labs that I've been working with. You can see hackers from America going to China, China coming to Africa. You can see it live. Whilst you and I are talking, hackers, wherever they are sitting, whether they are rogue states who are attacking us amongst others and attacking other countries. So it is important that when you go onto the net, don't go into the deep web and dark web because your particulars will be stolen. The 45,000 names that were stolen in the hack 3-4 weeks ago from NetBank, those names found their way into the deep web and dark web. They are being sold. Your particulars, if you are an account holder of NetBank, Braden, your name might be possibly sold on the internet. Your name, your email address, your telephone numbers, and many of those things, personal identifiable information.
Is this NetBank thing a new thing, or has it been there?
It's 3 weeks or 4 weeks back.
4 weeks back?
Yes.
But the bank must have taken measures now to try and strengthen their security.
The banks, Braden, continuously through the South African Banking Risk Information Center, look at these things and they update. But what is funny is when your names are already in the deep web and dark web, those criminals sell to others. It's a syndicate, organized crime. They will get your name, get a name, sell it to someone else sells your email addresses and that kind of stuff.
So basically you need to question when you've got these interactions that are strange in terms of emails and stuff like that, and think about it a little bit before you act.
Let's use a nice term. Zero trust, Braden. When I receive a WhatsApp from you, I double check. I know how you respond and I know how you talk. If someone was to clone your WhatsApp and send me a message from you, I'll be able to tell. So long story short, zero trust. You don't allow members of the organization, of the show, to bring a memory stick that you put onto the system here because it might be loaded with malware. Just a short little story.
So yeah, those are some of the basics that we have to be doing. So our behavior on the web, online, as consumers, as people, is very, very much important. Now, Andy, tell me this. Besides the law, besides legislating and putting regulations in place, what else do you think a government like ours can do to assist us and protect the citizens against cyber attacks?
But then when we repeat 1 to 10, you and I, when we are still at the Dom A level, we ended up understanding, reading, and being able to read from 1 to 100. Now, what is the logic in the madness that I'm sharing with you? Our government must ensure that they insert in your showpiece, your adverts, they insert. I'm sure there is a foundation of these television stations. All the time in the showpiece when there's a break, talk about cybersecurity, show them, do a live demonstration of 20 seconds. That advert takes about 10
yeah, but what about
seconds.
government? What do you think government can do more?
Government has a responsibility to create what we have been doing, Braden, out there. It's called the boot camp. The Americans, cyber boot camp. They take kids to school and take them through the cyber program. That cyber program is called Generation X.
And that's available across America.
Yes.
So you are suggesting we need something like...
It's sponsored by the NSA for the purpose of national security. Yes.
So our national security officials here, authorities, should sponsor something similar for our children in terms of a cyber security boot camp, and also make it available generally.
We should. If government is on the limping side, the ICSIC will then come in and say, we are going to put up the cyber boot camp. When they close, when the kids go to school holidays, we take them away. That's
so
how
your committee can assist in doing that?
We can assist. We will obviously join hands, Braden, with those who have been hacked. We know some of them don't want their names to come out in the open companies. We will go to them and say, the method is when hackers have gained access, have penetrated your systems, they will come again.
Yeah, I mean, we had a few incidents in some government departments, their websites going offline, and nobody knew what had happened, whether they were hacked or not. We've had some private companies, including a credit company, where your names and my names, whoever has credit was...
54 million names, TransUnion.
54 million
54 million.
Yeah, so this is real. I mean, I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, yeah, we always talk about cybersecurity, but until something big happens, and then it's headline news, we don't talk about it. The reason we are sitting here is because of your wonderful appointment to the Executive Committee of the International Cybersecurity and Investigation Committee. But generally, the awareness, we can do better in media as well.
We can do better, Braden. Cybersecurity is in the back burner of many African countries. Let me surprise you. On the highly skilled countries from a cybersecurity point of view, Nigeria is number 1. Kenya is number 3. Rwanda was number 4. And you know at a certain stage that Rwanda had hacked South Africa. I'm not going to go into the details. We saw that at a later stage. We know that the president might have been hacked. I'm not going to verify or not verify. The president was hacked from 2017. You saw it on the news. It's public knowledge. So our level of understanding, involving ourselves, immersing ourselves in cybersecurity is not up to scratch. We have to push it to make sure that the kids, our sisters, our brothers, those who do online banking, the apps on the phone, it's very important that people get to know on a daily basis until people accept it.
Yeah, I guess because the world is becoming more and more digitized and we are using apps, we're using devices almost on a daily basis, as you said, it was obvious that the criminals would take advantage of that, but we need to learn more about it. And your committee is one that can assist. Okay. Now, I don't know when you're going to attend the first meeting as the executive of this committee, but what is going to be your message to them as a South African on this international committee in terms of cybercrime? What are you going to be bringing to the first meeting of that committee?
Help me reduce the impact to the economy of 2.2 billion rands. What frameworks do you think we can implement in a way and manner that will help the victims of cybercrime understand better, save money, and ensure that the 2.2 billion that gets lost trickles back into the economy and not into the pockets of the wrong people?
Andy Mashaile, thank you very much for your time. He is the new executive member of the International Cyber Security and Investigations Committee. And some of you may have known him over the years. He was also, sometime in the past, an ambassador for Interpol here in our country. Now, shortly